Thanks for listening to another episode of PSL on the Mic, the City of Port St. Lucie's official podcast. We debuted a new initiative back in February at our Citizen Summit, and it's called Naturally PSL. So we're here today with Deputy City Manager Kate Parmelee, who's, I believe, here for the third time now.
Oh.
It might be your longest time here.
Really?
You might have the most times on the podcast.
Okay, wow.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And we're here with Nikki Zheng. I just asked if I said that wrong.
That's correct.
Nikki Zheng. And you're our Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Fellow. And we're going to get into that right away. But you guys are here to tell us a little bit about Naturally PSL and how it's going to help conserve our environmental areas here in the city, which is super important to us and very, very important to the community.
Yes.
So welcome.
Thanks, Marie.
Like I said, Kate, you've been a guest before. Nikki, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got to the city, and what you do here now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited to be here. I am Nikki. I am joining the city as a City Hall Fellow from Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Initiative. First as a summer fellow.
It is a mouthful, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I just really love the work I'm doing here since July. I was a landscape architect by training. I went to
cool.
University of Florida. Go Gators.
Go Gators.
They just won the national championship. Oh, great. I got two Gators here. Go Mountaineers. People are like, who's that?
Yeah, and when I graduated from Harvard for my master's degree, and I learned about the work that City of Port St. Lucie was doing about Greenspaces and creating high-performance public space, and that is just an idea that clicked for me, and then it's something that championed by one of my former professors when I was in University of Florida. So I just thought, wow, what are the chances? The stars are aligned. This is my calling to come work here. So after that, I have been really focusing on increasing access to nature and public space since I've been joining the city.
Awesome.
And so far, it's been pretty awesome, and excited to talk more about that.
Yeah, great. We're happy to have you here. So tell us, what is Naturally PSL?
Absolutely. And I just, a little side with Nikki, I wanted to say we are so fortunate to have Nikki join the team. And when we interviewed Nikki and found out that Dr. David Barth, who created high performance public spaces, this concept, and worked with the city for many years before he sadly passed away a few years ago, just that connection was amazing. And so really felt like we both were on the same path, and she has been a tremendous addition to our team. So having your expertise is
Nikki.
invaluable to the city.
Thank you. I'm very lucky to be here too.
Yes, and we want to thank Bloomberg Philanthropies because actually Nick and the Harvard City Leadership Program, because Nikki's salary is completely paid by that grant from Bloomberg Philanthropies, which is amazing.
That's awesome.
So for them to come and invest in our city and be able to bring Nikki's talents here is just tremendous. So
yes.
and Nikki, this position was really unique because we actually came out of the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Program just about a year ago. You know, we started that program, and we were chosen as one of 40 cities around the world to work with them on learning the latest techniques in civic engagement. And you know, we have a mayor and city council that are so devoted to resident engagement and doing just trying to be as high performing as we can as a city government. So when we were chosen, it was really a great honor, and we brought a problem to them because we all had to come with a public problem we were trying to solve. And the public problem we brought to them came from our residents, and they said, you know, we've had some growth over the past several years, as you know. It was long, provided it was past councils, that had authorized some of those developments, but I think no one foresaw with the impact of the pandemic, everyone moving to the city of Port St. Lucie at the same time. So it created a lot of activity, construction activity, and people were seeing, next to their home, this lot that had been a vacant lot for, as long as they lived there, all of a sudden there was a home
There's a house on it, yeah.
So we were hearing from residents at public meetings saying, the green space is disappearing too quickly. We feel like what's going on? We don't, we feel like we're losing our environment. And we heard that through our Citizen Summit. If you haven't come to our Citizen Summit, please come. It's every February. We had 1,000 people last February at the Citizen Summit. And at the Citizen Summit, we give them pretend dollars. We're saying, if you were in charge of where we'd spend taxpayer dollars, what would you invest more in? And the number one issue in 2023 was more access to nature and preserves and neighborhood green space. So we had this problem where we're like, how can we increase access with limited land available? We're trying to create high-performance public spaces, lots of different benefits in each lot. But what can we do to solve this problem? So that's what led us to the program. We created an interdepartmental...
And that was the problem you brought to them.
That was the problem, yeah. So
maybe not a problem. That's probably...
Really an opportunity.
Opportunity,
I would say.
yes.
That's what So we brought that issue, and then we learned something called human-centered design through the Bloomberg Harvard City Leadership Program and the Bloomberg Center for Public Innovation at Johns Hopkins. They brought us a design coach, Alexis Baum, and we had an interdepartmental team from Public Works, from Planning and Zoning, from the City Manager's Office, from Communications, from everywhere. And we learned these new techniques on how do we better listen to residents and then work with residents to co-create some solutions to this problem. So we engaged like 1,000 residents over a year, between the Citizen Summit and lots of in-depth interviews, and we came up with a portfolio of solutions on how we can solve this issue. And that's where the Naturally PSL
Naturally
Greenspaces
PSL.
and Places program was born.
Can you define the high-performing part? Like,
Yes.
a lot of people might not know what that is.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I'll ask Nikki to do that because Nikki has that
absolutely.
experience.
High performance public space, essentially, it's any public accessible land that anyone can access to provide multiple benefits. So when you think of parks, a lot of times you only think of providing either social benefits of people gathering or environmental benefits of conserving natural environments. But we're also thinking of other opportunities like economic development. When you have a park, you stimulate economic development around the area. So how are we thinking of the public land that are available in the city to think of one space to provide multiple benefits? So an example would be a stormwater park. It creates benefits for the stormwater management. It creates benefits for people to access for recreation, and sometimes it improves the neighborhood, the aesthetics. So it helps property values and it helps with economic developments as well. So how can we best utilize any public accessible land to access multiple benefits?
Okay, so multiple, that's the whole
Yeah.
idea. Okay.
So can you add a walking path around a stormwater
Right.
pond so residents can
Benches,
get more? It's like more
stuff
for their
like that.
taxpayer dollars, right? You can
Okay.
get multiple things that we can benefit residents, not just one thing at a time.
Now, I almost jumped in and said this to you before when you were talking about council, and we're a very data-driven
Yes.
city. How did that information that we gathered set the initiative in motion
Sure.
initially? Like maybe more in depth than what you just said.
Absolutely. So, of course, there was initial data from both the National Community Survey and the Citizen Summit saying this was an issue that people cared about. And then interviews are also a form of data, these individual stories, hundreds of individual stories from residents. And we went to them first, helping us define the problem, coming up with solutions, and then testing solutions with them. I mean, one of the things we heard really early on that came through in the data was that there was a lack of knowledge of even where our current green spaces are located. A lot of people were new to the city. They didn't know where they were. And we actually have we have a significant amount of acres in conservation, and we have all of these green spaces throughout the city, but there was not really a central place where all of that information was shared. And some of these projects are in development. We have a historic investment in parks and green spaces going on in the city right now. We just opened 2 parks. We have 6 more in the works.
Now, green space, I'm sorry for interrupting,
Sure.
but green space is more than just parks, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So even access to like a trail or, even sometimes a sidewalk that is well shaded that you can connect to different parks, which we've been prioritizing as a team we have actually a high performance public spaces team in the city that Dr. Barth helped us get off the ground, where it's someone from Public Works and someone from planning, someone from the utility. We look at like if we're going to purchase property, what can we do that multiple things can we advance at the same time?
High performing.
And
Public
being high
spaces.
performing.
Yeah.
And then just even that coordination across departmental, it's kind of unique for a city to do that. Usually you just work in your own individual areas.
Right.
But we're trying to think how can we get the best benefit for residents? So
The
that's
collaboration
kind of how that started.
Together.
Yes.
And you just mentioned trails. So we have a trails map now.
Yes.
And I know that's been really needed. Residents have been asking for a long time for that. And I was
Yeah.
poking around on it the other day, and it's really cool. Can you guys talk about the trails map and what it's interactive and everything?
Absolutely. And I will have Nikki explain it because Nikki designed it. So
I didn't know that. It's really cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as I said, one of the things that people said that they didn't know where to get this information. So that came through really strongly. So we said we needed to come up with, and we came up with this portfolio of solutions, and we started to implement. And then when we had the opportunity to hire Nikki as our fellow, this was one of the perfect intersections. I mean, she has a master's degree in design, so she designed this incredible map that also was on the back of, and actually with a graphic map of showing the city.
Our
that went
T-shirts
on the
and
back
the
of our
poster-
T-shirts.
yep.
Yeah. And
Cool.
So I'll have Nikki explain kind of how the trail map works.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that. The Trails Map, I think, is a starting point to raise awareness of the available spaces and places around the city. It's creating connected images for the residents to see where are the destinations in the city and how can they be connected to them through the existing sidewalks. And over the course of development of this Trail Map project, I hope that hopefully we can raise awareness of the incoming projects that the city is doing. For example, what trails are we building that might be soon coming to your neighborhood? So that is essentially a starting point, and we're still currently trying to make it a little bit more user-friendly so people can perhaps take the map with them on the walk so they can plan their trips while they're out and about. So that's a starting point to get people excited to have people to go out and explore the city that they might have not explored. For example, the Savannah State Park along the Green River Parkway, it's almost 4 miles. And a lot of residents I've talked to during Citizen Summit or in phone calls, they're not aware of that as a place for you to bike, to walk. It's got paved asphalt trails.
Yep.
Beautiful nature is away from the busy traffic. So I think there are a lot of opportunities out there in the city that people might have not had the information to access to yet. But right now it's available as a starting point, and we're going to continue to improve that experience.
Yeah, can you explain like maybe where some of the trails are? I know it's going to be hard to, people watching or even listening, but I'll link to it in the show notes to the trails map. But where in which parts of the city are these trails that we have right now?
Right now, it's kind of everywhere. We're creating different loops and routes that is using our existing sidewalk, and that connects the different parks that are in the city. So we're finding the city sidewalk that has already been built, and how can they connect to different parks and create loops around those spaces.
Okay.
And we're trying to see if we can add amenities so people can filter out the amenities that they wanted to find.
Dog
and how
park
exactly.
or like benches, water fountain.
Parkings, restrooms,
Yep.
the hours, and all the information that they can find while they are planning a trip. So that's something still in the work. It's a work in progress, but it's a starting point for people to hopefully get excited.
Yeah, I mean, we just launched this in February, and we're going to get into that now about the Stewardship Awards and the Conservation Course. So since I said it, we just put something out, I think, just a couple days ago about it.
Yes, absolutely.
So talk about that, because that's like a big deal.
Yeah, I think part of, we follow, so I work in innovation, we follow the bright spot theory of change, right? Which is like, if you figured out something, share it, and then see if we can replicate it elsewhere, right? So the Environmental Stewardship Awards are about if someone's doing something great for the environment in our community, we want to share that story, and then might spark other people to also get involved and to plug in and to kind of even share people's connection throughout the city. And there's a lot of good things going on, but people don't know what's happening. So I know I'll ask Nikki also to share some of those details on the Environmental Stewardship Awards.
And we might not, personally, like staff might not know either. So having residents tell us who they think, and it could be like an organization, a person, maybe a church group, a school.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So individuals, organizations, business, schools, any public agency, there are different categories. And you can be planting native trees in your yard and then get certified as Florida-friendly yard. That can qualify you for application.
Cool.
Or you can do, if you're an organization or a business that have extra landscaping around your business and that really beautifies your property, that can be something that you also use and then apply for the awards as well. If you are running a school club that are having environmental friendly activities or raising awareness of the city's natural environment through a school activity, that can also be a perfect example of what can be applicable for the awards. And public agencies and doing innovation projects and school organizations, everyone is technically qualified for this if you are doing something and
for the environment,
for the environmental efforts. And we believe that those efforts already exist in the community. We just really wanted to
tap into it.
Yeah, exactly, to recognize for those that deserve.
Now, we have parks and Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful. We have like Adopt a Street, Adopt a Park, and now I think we have Adopt a Green Space. Is it going to be the same kind of way that we do the parks and the spots with Adopt a Green Space? What will people do when they adopt a green space?
Yeah, absolutely. I can totally go more in detail.
Yeah.
So Adopt a Green Space is part of the Conservation Core Program.
And we didn't even talk about that,
which is a volunteer program that we're launching under this initiative. The idea is that we want residents to have hands-on stewardship opportunities to work on improving the natural environment in the city. And the Adopt a Green Space is essentially, like you said, it's very similar to how you adopt other space in the city. Adopt a street, adopt a spa, adopt a pond. Similarly, residents can form volunteer groups to adopt a green space. But the difference is that the green space is kind of in expansion of Adopt a Park. These are spaces that are city-owned green space that have not yet been developed into a city park. So those are the spaces that are in almost every single neighborhood that the city either acquired or received a donation from in the past that have not really had the ability to convert it into a park that we wanted to. So there are a lot of them are overgrown city lots that
I
are
was saying, what would they do when they adopt
exactly.
it? Yeah.
So right now it's a lot of overgrown exotic plants, or they're empty, or they don't really have much going on, and people sometimes throw trash in it, and they didn't really take care of it.
Okay.
So the idea is that people can adopt these spaces in their neighborhood, maybe on their walk to pick up their mail. They can sort of take a look in this part, and then they pick up the trash. They can do monthly activity to clean it up, just like how you adopt a street.
Right.
But you can also advocate for, you propose more beautification projects if you want to.
For that green space.
Exactly. So
Okay.
if you want to host exotic plants removal, we can help you to connect with somebody to do that. Or if we also can provide you with the tools to help us identify exotic plants, so we can connect you with experts that can help you with that as well. You can propose putting a bench, putting a swing, putting something you want to improve the green space to make it more enjoyable by this community. So that's the idea behind the
Okay.
Adopt the Green Space, where residents can turn it into the space that they can enjoy as well.
Awesome. So you've been here for almost a year, right? I think you said July.
Since July, I think it's
Yeah.
been 8 or 9 months.
Yeah.
So how has your experience been so far, and what are you most proud of, too?
Yeah, I can't believe it's been almost.
I know.
Yeah, I think it's been challenging, but also really rewarding. I think especially the time when I go to my first Citizen Summit, I think that makes everything of figuring out things. Figuring out things in the City Hall is never as straightforward as I thought it would be.
No, it's not. But I've been here 5 years, Nikki, and I'm still confused about things.
Yeah, there are always things I'm learning, and it can be frustrating to learn new things like everyone.
Yep.
But there are moments that make me feel like it's super rewarding when I was in Citizen Summit and people are telling us how much they feel like this is a city that cares about what they say.
Listens to their residents.
Yeah, when I was talking to residents about Naturally PSL and having them to inform that this is an idea that they brought to us 2 years ago, and I felt really, really proud of having that process that were done by the team before me. So that was just really rewarding, and it's challenging, but it's worth it,
Yeah.
I think. And I was really proud to see that trail map on the back of the Citizen Summit T-shirt.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
great.
Yeah.
I wear that shirt all the time.
It's, I think everyone's favorite shirt.
Very soft. Yeah.
It really helps get our, we're 121 square miles city.
Yeah, I know.
And so
It's
sometimes
huge.
even getting our arms around where our city boundaries are and a sense of place, that's what we found in speaking with hundreds of residents. We our initial thought was residents felt disconnected from nature, and actually they felt really strongly connected and very
Yeah.
protective. And that's one of the insights we gained. We found that people are using our green spaces to build community. One of the walking groups we went with, they have the name they've called as the Black Women Walking Group.
Right.
We joined them for a walk, and literally we should have trained because they're so fast, and we're trying to take
I
notes
see them
and
at
walking.
races and 5Ks and stuff. Yeah.
But a lot of
them really
the
fast.
amazing women we spoke to said, they moved to Port St. Lucie recently, and they found community through these walking groups, through meeting up in parks. And so we found that there's a lot of community building happening in our green spaces, and we
we didn't even know about, and now we do.
Right, and
Yeah.
it's a great place to foster a connection. Look at the Port District since it's open, how people are
know.
meeting at playgrounds, and
We have yoga by the river,
Exactly.
walking groups all the time, the
Yeah.
mom and tot classes that we have too. Yeah.
So we're always thinking that, and we're also really looking at data too. We have heat maps. Nikki has done a lot of analysis with the Trust for Public Land, trying to find where are our park deserts, where can we find these, where maybe we don't have enough land to build a huge park, we can find a tiny green space and be able to bring in those spaces throughout. So everyone has access. The ideal goal is within a 10-minute walk, everyone should
Right.
be able to access green space.
Yep.
It's our goal in the city.
It's like pocket parks or something.
Yeah.
If it could just be like a bench, or like even at Floresta and the Boulevard, there's that beautiful fountain, and it doesn't look like a park, but it's still a green space that
Right.
we've
Exactly.
conserved, and people can sit there with their dogs or on a bench or anything like that.
Yeah.
And there's so many of those around. Duck Court too, that comes to
Yes.
mind because
That's
it's like the pocket park.
It's a high-performance public space. It started out in that
Exactly.
It is
team.
gonna say.
HPP, yes.
HPPS,
Yes.
that's right. And we're looking always for it. So part of this is not only the Conservation Corps and the Adopt a Street and the awards program and the trails map, but it's acquiring land. It's figuring
Right.
out how to make there's a lot of things involved with the overall innovation portfolio.
Acquiring land just for green spaces.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. There's a bunch of projects in the works. We were just talking about this, like Hog Pen Slough,
Yes.
the Stars and Stripes Park. How does that all connect to Naturally PSL?
Absolutely. So that is prioritizing through having high performance public spaces and innovating in our strategic plan. And our strategic plan drives our budget. So the council's been listening to this resident feedback and has really been very aggressively pursuing the development of parks. And that's something that came out of the past few years. So we have a lot of parks in the works, really a historic investment. We're looking also at our conservation lands. I don't know if you saw at this year's Citizen Summit, we even had a little demonstration conservation land that was 3D. It was a prototype that we learned.
Was that back in the left corner?
It was really Marissa neat. From our team who's on the innovation team created
awesome.
that and said, like, what would your ideal conservation land have? Would it have a trail? Would it have, these different elements? And so we've had people vote on that. I know Nikki is going to be at the Oxbow Eco Center Earth Day event asking people questions this weekend, sharing about the trails maps. This is only the beginning, and we are also trying to figure out how can we grow resiliency. So part of Naturally PSL is getting more trees grown in the city, and that helps us with our stormwater. It helps protect us from heat, and in terms of, getting more shade. It gets hot in the summer, and having more trees will help us. So, we're a very young city. We were not planned with a lot of the elements of a lot of cities.
Nope.
So we've had to innovate and everywhere we go. And we're actually innovating by bringing some of the nature back in that was taken away when the city was first developed in the 60s. So this has been kind of an interesting journey where we're kind of reintroducing nature to a place.
Yeah, we turned 64 on April 27th.
That's right.
Actually. Thank you, ladies, for being here. Is there anything that I missed asking that you want to talk about? Because I know it's a new initiative, and we literally just launched it this year. I know, but you've been working on it for a while. Is there something else that you want to add?
Anything that you would like to add?
I think I think you have got it covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great.
I would like just to add that we are looking for partners always.
Yeah.
I mean, Nikki and I were just at a church a couple of days ago that they have some green space we might be able to partner on to convert to some neighborhood green space. So if you have a piece of land that you are interested in participating in this program, please reach out to our team. We would love to work with you and see what we can do together. If you have an idea on how to increase access to green space, how to build community through our green spaces, we would love to hear it. So we want to keep providing the opportunity, and I also want to mention we're going to be celebrated at the All-America City Awards as one of 20 cities chosen, and this work was part of the reason why we were selected as a finalist. So we're really proud of our city and the work that's going on.
It was great. How can people get in touch with you guys? Is there an email that I don't want to put your emails out there, but do you have, is there anything you want to offer so people can call or send their ideas?
Yeah, the email address will be naturallypsl@cityofpsl.com.
That's easy.
And the website will be cityofpsl.com/naturallypsl. And the awards program information will be under the tab awards.
Yep.
And you can apply through there. And same thing as the conservation core. You can hit the tab and then hit application.
Yeah. There's if you just go to naturally.PSL, everything is there. The trails map, I believe, is somewhere there too.
It's all there.
Yeah.
And we want to hear more ideas because this is just going to keep growing.
Partnership residents. And this was resident driven after all.
100%
so it was
resident
your
driven.
idea, everyone. So.
Absolutely. And we listen, and I love that our mayor and city council take resident feedback so seriously, and we try to really create meaningful change.
And we really do.
We really do.
A lot of cities, governments, they say they do, but we really do. And I'm not saying that just because, I can say it, but we really do take into consideration all your ideas, all your input, especially at Citizen Summit.
Yes, and the entire interdepartmental team that worked on this, everyone's so devoted. I mean, I can't thank the team enough for all of their work. They're from all throughout. I mean, that I know what's great is having, all of us have different jobs, and we worked, and everyone was pretty stretched for that year, adding this on top of our responsibilities, and we're still all involved. But having Nikki's full-time focus on this really helps us get more momentum. But everyone's work just really cares about this and put their heart and soul in this program because we want to do right by the residents of Port St. Lucie.
Yep, it's a wonderful program. I can't wait to see how it's going to sprout. Naturally
I know, growing.
That's growing. Yes, I wore green today for Greenspaces.
I was like, I
Nikki
realized
wore
I got here
flowers.
and I forgot to wear green.
That's okay. That's okay, Kate. Thank you again for both being here. I know we had to kind of juggle things around for everybody's busy schedules, but I really appreciate it. It's something that needs to be talked about, and everybody needs to know about it. So thank you again. And we are going to end with our 10 questions, which Kate apparently didn't know about.
I've never known that. I've never been on the 10 questions.
No,
before.
we started this little fun thing at the end of our podcast, I think after your other 2 times here, which I think were grants and Citizen Summit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So we have 10 questions. You can just flip-flop back and forth. And you ready?
think so.
Okay. Kate, you can go first. How
Okay.
about favorite food?
Your food. I think, oh gosh, I just love food, so it's hard to choose.
All food.
But I did have tacos for lunch, and I love good tacos. So Mexican tacos,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Nikki?
My favorite food is egg. And I will eat eggs in all different kind of form. And it's not helpful right now when they're so expensive, but it's still going to be my favorite food. And
You
I
gotta
still
find
eat
someone
them.
with chickens.
Yeah, right. That's why I still eat them. That's proves that I really do love them.
Okay, good. Any form. Favorite movie? Nikki, you go first.
Okay, I go first. It's always the hardest. That's probably one of the hardest questions. And
If you have more than one, that's okay too. Because
something I watched more than one time recently is probably Everything Everywhere All at Once.
oh, it's so good.
It is really good, and we use that as catchphrase sometimes
Yes,
at
we
work
do.
to
It is.
describe how it feels like
Life
at
in the
work.
city.
But I just really love that movie, the message and everything.
Awesome.
It's great. Well, I think mine is from when I was a little kid. My favorite, it was a miniseries, but Anne of Green Gables. I'm a huge Anne of Green Gables person.
You're such a nerd. I could
Such a
totally
nerd.
see that.
I mean, I lived on that movie series.
Favorite hobbies?
Oh gosh.
Other than Naturally PSL.
Actually, I do love going to natural areas. My son is loves to get into nature. We go hiking, and so actually being in nature is actually my hobby as well.
Okay, good.
My favorite is to make ceramics, and
cool.
I just love the process of turning something that's so
Into this blob of something.
into
Yeah.
something else, and it becomes something. It's so moldable and so flexible as a material.
That's awesome. Do you go to a local place here, or do you like
I
do it at
haven't
your...
started to find any place around here, sadly, but that's why.
Anyone, if they have any suggestions,
Yes.
email naturallypsl@citypsl.com. Nikki, hey! How about your favorite singers or bands?
Oh, U2 for me.
Okay, that's
Wow, Dua Lipa.
nice.
I love her.
I love the generations here we have.
Yes, we do. I know. I'm becoming
Because mine would not be that, but I love Dua Lipa. Your favorite books?
Oh my goodness, that's a hard one, honestly.
Nikki, you know, have
Yeah.
one first.
I wish I'd read more. Sorry. My favorite book is this scientific novel called Three Body Problem. I think there's a Netflix show about it.
Oh, yes. Okay.
The book itself was really fascinating.
All right, cool.
That's great. Gosh, I am. Right now, I'm thinking about which book in particular.
Or
you
an
know, I'm
author, like
or
a
an
series
author.
maybe? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. My son for school just read Little Women, and I'm from a family of 4 girls. So that was like the second runner-up from movie. So it's like it was kind of my childhood. We had newspapers, we had plays growing up as kids.
Little Women.
Little
Good
Women.
choice. How about your favorite holidays?
My favorite holiday is New Year's Eve.
Oh,
I just
all right.
love that it's the end of the year and you're so excited for a new year.
Starting over.
Yeah. and-
Fresh slate.
Yeah, this past New Year's Eve, we were in the forest and we burned a man with like a stuffed man. Sorry,
I'm like, you burned a man. You're not at Burning Man.
no, stuffed man. You put all the bad things that happen, you
Oh,
wanted to
cool.
let go, and you burn it. And I just think that's just my favorite thing.
All right.
That's great.
Awesome.
For me, it's Thanksgiving because I love that it's like getting together and having a good meal and spending time. And it's kind of low stress. It's not like the Christmas where it's or a different the
starts the
holidays.
day after.
Yeah, it's right. So I like that it's kind of just still about getting together and
Yeah.
having a good meal together.
How about your favorite places to visit?
Go ahead. I'm just gonna say the beach. I like the beach.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's fair.
I love traveling, so anywhere. But I think one of my favorite places I took my son back to, actually, my family, my husband and my son, we went to Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. It's in Door County, and I spent some of my childhood there, and it's right in this little peninsula in Wisconsin. It's such a beautiful place,
Oh,
and so it's one
cool.
of my happy places to visit.
Wisconsin.
Yes,
Love the Midwest.
I'm a Midwesterner, so
Do you guys have any favorite desserts?
so many desserts. I don't know.
Tiramisu.
Tiramisu, yes. I love carrot cake. I love anything chocolate.
Food.
I love food. I mean, gosh, don't get me started.
Any dessert? Favorite TV shows?
You want to start or?
You don't watch TV?
I do watch
Oh, okay.
TV. I think my favorite is always going to be Parks and Rec. In the job interview, I said that's why I want to work in the city
I
government.
think you did.
Because of Ron Swanson.
No, not wrong. The show.
The
Because
show,
of the
okay.
I'm forever
Yeah.
inspired by Leslie Knope.
Yes.
And now
Oh,
work for
she's
somebody who kind of reminds me of her.
I've been told that before. My nephews,
100%.
my nephews think that it's like Parks and Rec. I'm like, no, it's not. Because
No.
sometimes
Is
it
it
really.
really?
All right, we're on our last question. Favorite colors?
Yellow.
Blue.
Yellow, blue. I love both of those. Thank you, ladies, again, so much.
Thank you,
I'm
Maureen.
going to cityofpsl.com/ Naturally PSL.
correct.
The email is naturallypsl@cityofpsl.com. Well, that's confusing.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the show notes for everyone. But thank you for coming in. This is super, super important initiative because it's resident driven, which is what we're all about. So,
Well, we thank you, Maureen, because communications has been such a partner in all of this.
Yeah.
So we thank you for your partnership.
I
And
love fun things like this.
yes,
Thank you.
thank you.